Hello to you all. My name is Saldanha. I'm from Portugal, Lisbon, and I'm recording this presentation for you all since we still live in a COVID-19 situation and therefore we cannot be all in the same place physically. But anyway, we can share knowledge anyway. So I am going to talk about CPD, which is continuous professional development. This is my new passion. And I always knew that CPD was important, but nowadays I have a better picture of how important it is. So I'm going to share my screen now, as I have a lovely presentation. Okay, so here's my topic for today: continuous professional development, the so-called CPD, essential tool in a professional career, any kind of career. Education, banking, finance, investment, management, translation, linguistics, whatever, it doesn't matter, okay? First things first, definition of CPD. What is CPD? Is the maintenance and enhancement of the knowledge, expertise, and competence of professionals throughout their careers according to a plan formulated with regard to the needs of the professional, the employer, the profession, and the society. Maintenance and enhancement says it all. We need to maintain a career and enhance a career and improve a career, of course. And we need to gather the knowledge, the expertise, and the competence, because we need to be better professionals. We need to enrich our mind, our spirit, and our knowledge so that we can be on the top 3 minimum of our career. Because I believe that we should be ambitious. We should aim to reach the top and not to be an average person. We should all be the best we can, okay? Now regarding CPD, we have 3 main topics. CPD, 3 letters. Now we are going to analyze each of them. Let's go and start with the first one. Letter C, continuing, which means, of course, continuous development. The people seek to improve knowledge, skills, and performance. If we don't have the knowledge, if we don't have the skills, our performance cannot be good. Our performance cannot be high. Our performance cannot be professional. Our performance cannot be recognized. And we all want to be recognized for the things we do and for the influence we have, for the knowledge we have, for the message we pass. Doesn't matter. Our aim is to be recognized, respected among our peers, our colleagues, our students, our friends, our family, and we need to show that we have something to share. Share is a very, very important word for me because I'm always sharing knowledge, skills, advice, orientation, help, improvement, one-to-one advice. So I'm always trying to help people in the area of translation, of course. Now, regular investment of time in learning as an essential part of professional life and not as an optional extra. Please bear in mind that this regular investment of time in learning is essential for your career. If you have a career and if you stay there for 30 years and you don't do anything to be a better professional, you will not have any kind of evolution in your professional area. If you don't keep up with the trends, if you don't keep up with the markets, if you don't keep up with books, if you don't keep up with new developments, if you don't keep up with new bibliography, whatever, it doesn't matter. You will be in the end of the line. And what we want, top 3, always. So I myself, for example, as a translator, I've studied in USA, I've studied in UK 3 times, I've studied in Belgium, I've studied in Italy, I've done summer courses, short courses, training the trainers courses, specific courses, general courses, post-graduation, masters. I'm doing my PhD in Spain. So as you can imagine, this is a huge investment I've been doing, but it pays off, okay? Not only because of the knowledge I get, the people I know, the networking I do, the opportunities I have after a while. And so it's really important that you keep up with your CPD. Second topic, professional. So we have letter C and now letter P. Professional, active interest in the continuous development and improvement of self, yourself, and others at both organizational and individual levels. Now here the improvement of self has something to do with mentoring. That's what I also do. I'm a mentor for people who want to start a career in translation. And I want to see improvement in other people. I don't mind sharing my knowledge. I don't mind sharing advice. And I think it's essential in a professional career to help others and to be a mentor, because everyone needs help. Everyone needs a push in the right direction. Okay, it's very important, because if you help somebody, you will be helping yourself and you will get something back. You will have a reward sometime in your life. And of course, the learning objectives should be clear and serve the individual, first things first, and then clients' organizational needs. In my case, my learning objectives serve myself first, because I always invest heavy in my CPD, but I want to have something back. Of course, I'm not just investing because I'm not a millionaire, so I cannot invest like crazy. And of course, my clients. If I have the knowledge and I have a good performance, I can help my clients, they can help their clients, and the market will flow continuously. Okay, development. Letter D. So the third one, CPD, continuing professional development. Now D, we need to do a realistic assessment of what needs to be learned. Of course, we cannot do a gardening course for the translation performance. We need to be reasonable in order to meet the demands of the ever-changing professional business worlds. We know that with the globalization, everything is changing by the minute. I cannot imagine a person who works in investment companies. The markets are changing continuously, like by the minute, by the second, by the... So it's completely crazy. And in translation is the same. Things change every day. Softwares are updated, new trends are born, new tasks, new rates, new deadlines, whatever. There is always something happening. Development, if only managed by the individual, learning from all experience combined with reflection as a key activity. Of course, we need to mix our knowledge with our own experiences, with our way of thinking, with our psychic, and with everything around us. We cannot split, because our life is a whole. It's not just one thing, okay? We need to work effectively and inclusively. This is very important, with colleagues, clients, stakeholders, customers, teams, and individuals, both within and outside the organization. In my case, I'm a translator, I'm an independent worker, I'm in my house working, but I need to have colleagues to help me every time I need help with a big project. I have the director of my post-graduation. She helps me, on to implement something. I have to ask her for advice. I have my mother, my other colleagues, my previous mentors in my MA, my other courses. So we are always learning from each other. And now, the benefits of CPD. As you can imagine, there is a ton of benefits. I just wrote some of them here. Improvement of skills, of course, as we have said. Improvement of knowledge, of course. Networking, very important nowadays. Networking is absolutely essential. And I can give you an example. I was a bit of a person of Facebook, so I was a bit ignoring LinkedIn. And on the other day, I deactivated my Facebook page and I started to use LinkedIn more. You cannot imagine what happened. So my publications have 1,000 something views. Everything I share, people share with others. So it's a huge impact. I've gained tons of contacts, tons of people asking me for help, to be their mentor, to have an opportunity to take part in one of my workshops. Doesn't matter, okay? A better performance, of course, if we have the knowledge, if we have the skills, if we have the networking, our performance will be top. Remember, top 3, always, never less. Boost self-confidence, of course, we all need to be strong about ourselves and what we can do. We need to reduce the levels of stress. We all know that we are all stressed, even though we are in this COVID situation. It's even worse. And it's a way for us to have better stress levels. Competitive edge, competition is everything nowadays. I don't agree 100% with competition, but I think it's healthy at some point. So we need to be balanced. And earning potential, because if we join everything in the same pot we have here, okay, our earning potential would be, okay, will increase a lot. Okay, if we have a better performance, if we have an excellent networking skills, if we improve our knowledge, if we improve our skills, if we are self-confident, if we don't feel the stress, if you can work under pressure, and if we are competitive, our earning potential will be huge. This is this is something we all want. So never forget this. CPD and your own learning style. So there are 4 styles of learning. One is the activist, when you learn by doing. Okay, for example, my mother knows how to sew things. Okay, she knows how to sew a button, how to sew trousers, because she learned by doing. Okay. Some of you might have done the same in your areas. Okay, let's try this. Let's see what happens, and then we learn. Okay. Then we have the reflector style, when you learn by observing and thinking about what happened. Sometimes I do this when I go to webinars of colleagues of mine. I think about, yeah, that might be interesting. And you all have done this in your lives. And then the theorist, when you understand the theory behind the actions. This is not my favorite one because I'm a very skeptical person regarding theory. This would be another discussion. And for example, in translation, theory is hard to fit in real world. So there's no connection at all. So if I'm translating, I'm not thinking about theory, and maybe some of you might have studied education, management, mathematics, economics. If you study mathematics, you are an expert in doing those strange schemes. I'm sorry, like in the brilliant mind with Russell Crowe, and it's okay. You don't need to think about books because it's an instinct. Okay, I'm 0 in mathematics, for example. And then the pragmatist, when you need to be able to see how to put the learning into practice in the real world. I like this one because if you go to, for example, the post-graduation I teach here in Lisbon, post-graduation in translation, people learn how to translate effectively. They need to learn how to use the softwares. They need to face real projects in different areas. So they are able to see how to put the learning into practice in the real world because they will have the tools. They have learned in the post-graduation. Then they will go to the market and they know how to translate a technical text, a legal text, a literary text. So this is my favorite one. I don't know which one is yours, but anyway, just think about it and it might be interesting. Now, I found this a very good sentence. I just love this sentence. I love the author. And in the end, I will give you the reference in case you want to read the book. And it says this: if we don't know what the profession is, why it is a profession, and what our role is in its maintenance and development, then we cannot expect others to see this. nor can we expect them to value what we do as professionals unless we maintain and develop our professional status. So we are the ones who need to step up and say, no, no, my job is serious, it's ethical, and I'm always here to defend it. Okay? People need to understand that any job is serious and must be regulated and must be respected. I respect everyone from the cleaning lady to the judge. So I also want to be respected for the job I do. Okay? As a translator, as a mentor, as a teacher, as a speaker, doesn't matter. Okay? So I think this sentence is amazing. So what makes you a professional? Tons of things. I have tons of other things, but anyway, I just wrote here some. Managing relations, of course, we cannot live by ourselves in the world. We need to have constructive relationships, not destroying relationships, so we need to be careful. We need to deal with conflicts in a very peaceful way, otherwise we will be the ones who suffer. We need to engage in reflective practice. So we need to think about what we are doing, what we want to do, what skills do we want to develop. Remember what we have talked about previously. We need to have critical thinking. I've learned to deal with critical thinking, and I think it's nice because sometimes I criticize myself. I said, no, why have you done this? This is wrong. This is just, you are in the wrong way. Just do something. And we need to do this. We need to adopt professional values and ethical standards. Always. Even if you are a cleaning lady, or if you are the judge, or if you are the teacher, or if you are the policeman, it doesn't matter. We all need to adopt professional values and ethical standards, always, for everything we do. Okay? We need to advocate the profession. Okay, as I said, we need to step up and say, no, no, this is serious. This is not some kind of playful thing, so be careful. We need to support research and developments. That's what we are all doing here in these Eurasia conferences. Are always very cool. And that's what I do. I support research, I support my colleagues. Sometimes I write articles, sometimes I give my opinion. My orientation, my advice. I know I'm too young, but anyway, I do some orientation. We need to respect human rights and diversity. This is quite common nowadays, but we all know that sometimes this does not happen. And we have to have respect for everyone involved in our jobs and in our profession. So in my profession as a translator, I respect myself first, my teachers, my mentors, my students, my clients, project managers, everyone who works with me have my respect. And we need to be part of an association. For example, as a translator and mentor, I'm part of mentoring associations, I'm part of translation associations. We need to support ourselves. And it's also important to keep in mind, mentoring, very important. I've done lots of communications and conferences about mentoring. It's essential. CPD needs, we need to know what is worth and what is important for ourselves. We need to know what we can offer. We cannot offer things that we cannot do. We need to be reasonable. Return on investment, as I said, if you have the skills, if you have the knowledge, if you have the correct networking, if you respect everyone, if you have ethical standards, and if you are honest, your ROI, as the economists say, return on investment, will arrive soon. Networking, very important. Social media, well, this is another discussion because sometimes there are problems, discussions. But anyway, I prefer LinkedIn. I'm not on Facebook at the moment, but LinkedIn is quite good. And international CPD, of course, through conferences, workshops, webinars, as we are all doing here online, and others. There are tons of ways of learning. And now, the reference for this presentation I've done is an amazing book by Sioba Neary and Claire Johnson, which is CPD for the Career Development Professional, a handbook for enhancing practice. I must say this book is a life changer. Okay, this book is just incredible. So if you have the time and the will and the money to buy it and to read it, please do, because this book is not for translators, for everyone interested in CPD, and it's an amazing tool for everyone. So please do read it if you have the time and the will, of course. And now this was my presentation. So thank you all for listening to me. I hope I was not too boring. And if you have anything you want to ask me, please do. And if you want me to enlighten some of you regarding any kind of topic in this presentation, just let me know, okay? So thank you so much for having me once again. It was a true pleasure. And I'm sure we will gather in other online conferences this year because it has to be like this. But I truly hope that in 2021, we can all be together in person and we can share some other ideas. So thank you so much for everything and for having me once again. It is a true pleasure to be part of Eurasia Research Group, and it's a pleasure to work with all of you, to all the people who organize the conferences, and of course Dr. Charles. And I'll see you some other time. Thank you so much.